Okadi here. Today we are going to talk about a farming strategy that I'm not the only person that is doing this. I'm not the only person that's going to have posted on this, but I want to talk about a few things. And so this is destructive play. And so destructive play is whenever you have Maven witnessing the map, you'll summon 1 to 3 additional bosses based on how much of the map you've cleared. So ideally you want to clear most of the map before you go into the bosses. Now, a lot of people are doing this right now on a Shaper or Elder Guardian rotation, selling Shaper and Elder fragments, or killing Shaper and Elder for Uber Shaper, Uber Elder fragments, and selling those and then selling off all the other stuff. However, in order to do that, it takes a fairly strong character. Not everyone is at that point. And so you can still continue doing that. You just want to make sure that you have the highest amount of percent chance for a Shaper or Elder Guardian to drop. Where is it here? And we're at 34% chance to drop a Shaper Guardian map, 14 plus. So you want over 25, ideally as close to 35 to 36% as you can, just to help with your sustain on that. The rotation is pretty simple. But the first thing we're going to talk about is an alternative strategy for lower geared characters, and that is just T16 mapping. So Shaper Guardian maps and Elder Guardian maps are still valuable, and you still get good loot from killing multiple bosses in the form of idols. I've sold several idols today worth anywhere from 4 to 8 div, and so you still get a lot of good secondary loot from that, but the maps themselves are valuable. This Hydra map sells for 6 chaos apiece, this Chimera map sells for 8 chaos apiece, Phoenix map sells for 9 chaos apiece, and so you can still profit just by selling these maps to other people that are having struggles with their map sustain or maybe aren't sustaining at all. To do that, we're going to use the Maven invitation wheel. And so you run regular T16 maps, just a rotation of 10 different ones, and you fill up your Maven 10 invitation wheel. The map will go the same way as any destructive play map would go, and that is you clear the map and then you kill the boss. Fairly straightforward. So the first thing we're going to do is run around and kill everything on the map. Nothing complicated here, just clear as much of it as you can in a reasonable time frame. Choosing maps that have good layouts definitely helps with the speed at which you can clear. Smaller maps are preferable, so things like City Square would be good, Dunes would be good, Grand Beach, so on and so forth. We're in Ashen Woods right now because Ashen Woods is run around the outside, then run around the inside, then kill the boss. So it's pretty straightforward. And we're not being super specific on this because this is just for show, but you'd probably clear more than that. Maven ups the stakes here. Drops 3 bosses on us. We kill those 3 bosses. We pick up our idols. And we're done with the map. Now, because that was our 10th map, we now have access to a Maven invitation. Just like we would a formed invitation if we were doing Shapers. And so we'll do our Maven invitation map now. And these bosses are not difficult. If you can kill the bosses in the map, you can kill the bosses in here. And you're going to get a ton of idol drops and more map drops because this counts as 10 boss kills, which gives you an increased chance for getting these drops. And so the idols are valuable potentially, and you can reforge these idols into better idols. Your crescents you're going to get can sell. Your chisels can sell. And then the maps that you receive as well can sell. And so this becomes a really good solid rotation for not yet up to doing Shaper Guardians or Elder Guardians and giving you access to a very profitable, low budget, no scarabs, white maps is all you have to do. So even at low power on your character, you can complete this and get a good solid farm. Now, the amount of money you make is going to be entirely based on how quick you are, how strong your character is, and how lucky you are. but realistically, you can still expect to make between 5 to 8 div an hour without ever touching a shaper or an elder map. More if you're incredibly fast, less if you're incredibly slow or just not really pushing to get things done. And so I think this becomes a really strong, viable strategy from the traditional destructive play. Now, if you run the traditional destructive play, you're going to make a lot more cash. Like there is so much more value in the Shaper fragments, and there's so much more value in killing Shaper and getting the fragments from him and potentially the other loot, Dying Sun, so on and so forth. And so as your character gets stronger, you can scale this up while keeping the same idols. Now we'll talk about the idols again. I'll have a trade link for the idols down below. We are running only Shaper Guardian maps because that is the budget version of the option. Each of these idols cost me 20 chaos. There is 300 chaos, 310 chaos in this tab right now. That price could go up or down a little bit, but probably isn't going to change that much. Once you have made a ton of money, then you can slowly replace all these with Shaper and Elder Guardian. Shaper and Elder Guardian. Those are about 2 div a piece. And that would put you up to about 30 div, doubling your profit and increasing the viability of your strategy. So it gives you a good entry level as well as a good scaling on the strategy. If you have any questions over anything, leave a comment down below or come by Twitch. I'm happy to answer them. But I think y'all will enjoy this very much. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.